All right, so we made it through the Bad Bunny halftime show.
Barely. I mean, I think we're still on the high from it, right?
I have watched nothing else but content, different angles, behind the scenes. I
Yes.
want to know what Bush number 163 is doing and how that went.
And
So
guys, I'm only 4'10". I didn't make the cut.
I wouldn't make the cut either. No way. I only got you by an inch, but that's it. Not much.
Yeah, so it's okay.
All right, so why don't you tell us how your non-party went?
Yeah, so remember I told you we're not having a party, right? Well, we ended up with a house full of people anyway because our immediate family is just that big. But I think it went really well. We made tostones out of bunnies. We made Dominican cake, bunny shaped. We had a lot of food. Drip beef, empanadas made fresh, ribs, the whole 9 yards. Handcrafted cocktails. Dee Dee came and made margaritas,
The Scotch
old
Mother.
fashions. Yep, she was here. And remember when we talked about the rice? I said no rice, right? Because it was only supposed to be apps. Guess what? We had rice.
We needed rice.
Two kinds of rice.
Two. See that? I didn't ask for that. I only asked for one.
Yeah, I didn't win, guys. We ended up with rice. It's okay. I'll admit it. I ate it for like 3 days.
See? There you go. Exactly. And you had a Bad Bunny big figure.
Yes, we had a 6-foot Bad Bunny right here. Benito was watching the show with us, so it made for good photo ops for everybody.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was great. It was a great performance. It was very needed for this time. I think, we have been watching a lot of bad news about Latinos and things that are affecting our community in the last couple of weeks. So this was a really different change of pace for us. And his message was really global. I think in the US, we think we're the main character of everybody's story.
I know.
We're always right. We're always, the leaders of everything.
We're better than everybody else.
Yeah. And he kind of was like, no, we're all the Americas together. So I thought that was a really, really nice message.
Honestly, I needed tissues several times. Like, I really got emotional. I think also, like, if you're older, you get the messages, you remember those things from your childhood. It was very touching, I thought. Very heartfelt.
Yeah, that is definitely different. I mean, I grew up in a world where I didn't have to really worry about those things until recently. It's only felt uncomfortable recently. So yeah, that's definitely a very different change of pace.
Yeah.
So,
Perspective.
yeah. Should we go into the show?
Oh my God. Guys, there's just so much to unpack. All right, let's start with the intro. Now, of course, I'm going to be so proud here because I'm 100% Dominican. We had to start the show in DR, guys, in DR. He filmed the whole intro in DR. He went around and he picked a guy from La Romana who, of course, the first thing he says is the iconic "Hoy se bebe," which you guys know is Anthony Santos. That was amazing. I already was crying from that point. And then just the rolling and the words, like novela style.
It was so novela. That I noticed right away.
Yeah. And his full name. He didn't put his Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
He didn't even put that it was a Super Bowl show. So he put everything in Spanish. And if you notice when he rolled, it was the real sugar canes in DR with people from Dominican Republic. And I've seen interviews with them after, and they're just young kids in school. So they're just so thrilled. They didn't even know that they were filming for the Super Bowl. They just told them they were coming to do an aerial shots of them in the field. So it was very touching for me right from the beginning. All right, so the first song that he goes into, after you go through the Anthony Santos part, is Tití Me Preguntó. Now, a lot of people will say, oh my God, that's a song where, he's with so many women, blah, blah, blah. But for me, if you look at the deeper concept, at least what I think is, it's what we talked about last time. Latinos are very judgmental, right? Here's this tia of his who's telling him how he should live his life and putting her perspectives onto him and saying, hey, it's time for you to settle down, have a wife, have kids. It's the life that she thinks is appropriate for him. What was your take on that?
Wow, that's so different. I didn't think of that. I mean, I think that he starts the song just like Latino men, toxic. So I feel like starting it with talking about all the girls that he has is typical. And I'm okay with that because of how we ended it and how we kept going.
Yeah.
I think that that is part of Latino culture and it is important to bring up and acknowledge that a lot of Latino men are toxic
Yeah.
and have that machismo, but he is someone that pushes against it. I mean, he still does it, but he does push against a lot of those norms. So I thought that that's the way that he started it was definitely that. But I can't imagine like someone saying something like that to me all the time. I mean, I wanted to be married a long time ago, but it just didn't work out. So why are you yelling at me about it?
Yeah,
Like I
exactly.
wanted to, Tia. Like so, yeah,
Judging you.
yeah.
So that's the way, unfortunately, like the old tias and tios were. I'm hoping that with time that gets a little softer. But it was always like, you go to a party and they'd be like, "Oh, when are you getting married? How come you're not married yet?" Like you
Yeah.
get those questions which make you uncomfortable. Like nobody has boundaries.
And if you don't know how to cook, you're never gonna get married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but that was a good start. And then we roll on to really the community part,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. All the different roles that we play as Latinos. So coconut stands,
Yeah.
dominoes.
Yep.
I actually asked my son, what are we missing from my wedding that you saw in the Bad Bunny show? And he goes, dominoes.
Yeah.
And I
That was
said,
something I grew up with.
yeah, like, oh, we need a Domino's table for the wedding.
For
Absolutely. We can totally do that.
yeah,
Custom Domino's table.
for sure. That was perfect. The piraguas was
Yes,
amazing.
yes.
Which those are real stands. If you didn't know, the piraguas, the tacos, those are all real businesses. The nail girl, they're all real businesses that now he brought a huge highlight to.
Yeah, and in this week they have seen a surge. There is a line around the block for that taco stand that
Yeah,
he showed in LA and he featured.
yeah.
They're having a great week.
So that was amazing that he didn't make it just about him, right? He brought all the other Latinos up with him.
Yep. And the
You know?
boxing too. There was boxing in
Yes.
there.
And boxing is huge. Like in my youth, it was definitely huge for all Dominicans, Puerto Ricans who are obsessed with boxing. I used to go to my dad's house, and that's what he would watch for hours. And those are real boxers. There's a real drama between Mexico and Puerto Rico and the champions. So that was amazing that he brought not just actors, they're real people.
Yeah, real boxers. Jewelry and the engagement. So I saw on Instagram, and I don't know if this is real or not because I only saw it once, but that couple was a real engagement as well. He took
Oh,
the diamond ring from the jeweler and then he handed it to someone and he got down on one knee and proposed. And I
oh.
saw a video online that said like I got engaged today. What a great thing. But it didn't get as much attention as the wedding, so I wasn't sure if it was true or not, but
Yeah.
it looked
Well,
real.
somebody let us know.
I
Was it
know.
real? All right. So the next song was.
Yo Perreo Sola. Oh my god.
Wait, let
Spring.
me give my take on
Okay, okay, go.
it. So I'm gonna give you the mom take on it
Oh
because
god.
if you go by everyone else, they're gonna say, "Oh my God, it's not an appropriate song," which you take it like it is. But for me, that song is about women empowerment. It's about wanting, you know what? I could go to the club, I can dance by myself, and just because I'm dancing sexy doesn't mean that you have permission to come rub up on me. All right?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, definitely. I love that song and I listened to Evie Queen has a full class in history of reggaeton available on Spotify. It's 6 episodes or so, and you can listen to the entire thing. And for him to come out and say this and be on this song with her was great, like for our community, and definitely needed because that's why I go out. Ooh. Like if we could go more places without men around like that would be fantastic. Like I
Yeah.
would love to shake my butt without you looking at me.
I heard a lot of criticisms too about the girls dancing in this song, but if you really look back at it, I'm a little conservative, but like if you really go back to the history of twerking, it's not sexual, guys. Go back and look at all the way back in African history where it really came from. Um, Shaking your hips, like, it's not that way. Maybe guys interpret it that way, which is the whole point of the song,
Yeah.
you know? So I think it's more about women empowerment. Go
Yeah.
out and do your thing and don't worry about everybody else.
Yeah. And there was this other part of it that I thought was fitting that he did was in the video, he dresses in drag.
Yes.
And in order to do that, he had a cousin who taught him drag. And through that, all of the songs that the cousin showed him were Lady Gaga songs.
And if you really think about it, if you really go look at the back of the history of that song, it's not just because he wanted to be drag. He was standing up for human rights. Someone had just been murdered in Puerto Rico for being trans.
Yeah.
People were being beat up every day. This is about social justice for these people, the painting the nails, the whole 9 yards. He was standing up for other people, not just because he wanted to be flashy.
Right. And he just showed us that with his first song, he was going to be toxic, but then he was going to go against that in the next one.
Yes,
so
yeah.
that
So
works.
we're going through history. It's okay.
All right. And then our next song was Body, Body, Body.
You could talk about that one. It's really just a party.
Yeah, I mean, this is where we got to see Cardi B, Young Miko, Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba seems a little out of place, but everybody else sounds great. I mean, I definitely predicted that Cardi B would be there, Young
Yes.
Miko would be there.
Yes.
I didn't guess that Pedro would be there, but I guess that's fitting for their SNL relationship.
Yeah, I definitely did say Carol G was going to be there.
Yeah.
So I thought that was all really cool. And just having, like, all the dancers mix in with them.
Yeah.
You know, so they weren't separated. They were all hanging out, partying together.
Yeah, yeah. And there was one blonde influencer there. Her name was Alex or something.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was the girl from Call Her Daddy, but it wasn't.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool, but no, it was somebody else that was a coworker with him.
Yeah. So now we're on the top of the casita. We're all partying, having a good time, and he comes crashing down into it. And here we are in the casita. And what did he pay homage to? Celia Cruz. You got to go back and listen close because it's just faint in the background. But of course, he had to say something about the queen. And then we come out and we're full on reggaeton from there. Oh. That was exciting. We were all jumping up and down.
Oh my God, my head was going to pop right off. I got so excited. I thought that Tego Calderon was going to come out. I was like, I saw a glimpse of an afro. Maybe he's here. One of the most fun parts in this house, we love the Fast and the Furious series. We watch them again and again and again. And seeing Tego Calderon in the DR, one is like fantastic. Him and Don Omar. So we were able to have two very little medleys of them two, Hector and Father, and
Daddy Yankee.
So,
which we knew wouldn't be there. He said he wouldn't be there, but it was cool that he put him in there anyway, the father of reggaeton.
Exactly. That was great. He did have it very mainstream. You know, MTV days, Daddy Yankee was big. And he specifically said he would not perform Gasolina. And I don't think that I want to hear anything else but that. So I'm just going to have to play your song. Yeah, exactly.
We were definitely screaming, jumping up and down, because then we went into kind of like, I would say like a more grunge, get down kind of hip hop. Because then we were kind of going into like New York with the old cars and the way they were dressed. It was completely different than the start of the show.
Yes. And sometimes I still play those old reggaeton songs. And I tell my fiance that if we knew each other in high school, this is what it would have been playing at the house party that we would have been at together.
And he was probably like, what?
Yeah, he's like, no, I definitely was not at that house party playing this song. Then we go into Perreo for real. So this part was great. I thought everyone was going to pass out. I love this part. This is exactly what I wanted to hear, that I was afraid he wasn't going to go like that route, but I'm glad that he definitely did. And he was able to show so much diversity in all of these spaces and a lot of like queer representation too, and some of those dance moves, which we saw a backlash of this week as well.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he also had like a representation of all different Latinas, right? Some of us are whiter, some of us are Afro Latinas. A lot of them had curly hair, full natural. So I thought that was really great that he did that. We were all represented there that
Yes.
day.
Yep. And then Monaco.
Then Monaco. Where Monaco is like, you got to go back and listen to the song because I feel like in real life, that's when he was getting bigger and that's when he's talking about, you know, the fame and the money and all those kinds of subjects with that. So I thought that was good. I like that song. It's kind of got a slow beat and then you get into it.
Yeah, yeah. And then he gave us a I'm here
Yes.
because I never stopped believing in myself.
That was so sweet. I
And you
needed
should
tissues
believe
again.
in yourself too.
That was really sweet. I feel like he was speaking like his mom. You know, he talks
Yeah.
about his mom saying that she believed in him the whole time, no matter what career path he chose. And he was telling us, you know what, believe in yourself. I did, and look where I am, and you can do
Mhm.
it too, you
Yeah.
know?
You could win
So,
Grammys and perform for the Super Bowl.
yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
And then
And then
the crowd breaks, and who's there? Lady Gaga. Did you?
there's
Was that
Lady
on
Gaga.
your cards?
Definitely not on my bingo card.
Not on my bingo card.
Right before Lady Gaga came out, though, we skipped one part.
Oh yeah.
He said, "Is this what you wanted?
Yes.
Is this what you
Yes.
wanted?"
Yep.
And then we break to the wedding, which
Oh, that's right.
hold on, we gotta stop everything. Stop the presses for the wedding, okay? So I had an idea of what my wedding dress would look like in my head, and we ended up trying on, I don't know, 20 plus
20. I think it's
20,
more.
no, stop, 20 plus dresses, and we came down to four, and I was like, I know which one is the one. It's this one, duh. So I tried it on for the second time last after I tried everything else on, and that's the one that I loved, and that's the one that I chose. And the designer afterwards, the owner of the shop, told me the story about the designer and how lovely she was, and she had to fight for her name and to stay in the bridal industry, and she was like, you gotta look her up, you're gonna love her story. So since then I found out she was a Swiftie, which my daughter's a Swiftie, so we love that. And she just designs amazing, incredible dresses. And as I was watching the feed after the halftime show, I realized that she designed the dress for the halftime show for
Oh
the
my
bride.
god.
And I
It's
mean,
so
as
crazy.
yeah, like as this is going on, we have no idea that this is a real wedding that's happening. And I
But it
didn't know
was.
that it was the dress, a dress by the same designer. So that was very, very cool to see.
And
And
guess what the bride's name is?
Elisa, yep,
Just like me.
exactly. So
That was kind of strange. Like, wow, so
yeah,
many coincidences.
yep. And the way that she did her hair with her
Yeah.
curls showing like
Yes.
that was just so classic and so beautiful. I looked at that and I was like, that's probably how we should do my hair for my wedding.
That's kind of like how I had my hair.
Yeah.
All the curls out.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, so that part was amazing. I did not expect to see a wedding. I have definitely felt connected to this because I'm getting married on the 4th of July. So Nueva York coming out and singing about the 4th of July is just, the best thing that I could ever imagine. And there it is, a wedding right
Yeah.
at Super Bowl with a different dress from the same designer. It's just
Yeah.
fantastic.
And I
So,
thought it was fitting too that all of the guests that were at the wedding were all wearing white. It was
yes.
so classy. White goes back a long way if you look through slavery times and even Latinos, like white is a sign of purity. You wore white to every special occasion, to your communion, to your confirmation, to your wedding, all the special occasions, you wear white.
Yeah.
Every Easter, you put a white dress on. Like, that's just a big thing. So I thought that that was amazing that all the guests wore white.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they showed Lady Gaga.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, this makes sense. At first, I was like, what the?
Like, why is she here?
Yeah. What did they call her? Lady Guadalupe Hernandez. But yeah, she is the auntie. She is the only one that could be invited to the carne asada. So,
Yes, yes.
you know, it
Yeah,
was appropriate that she sang her song with, with salsa. So that was really
yeah.
nice.
I thought it was choreographed beautifully. Like the music was beautiful. I didn't think like that song would go well with the salsa, but I thought it was perfect. Her dress was made by a Dominican designer.
Yes.
She had the beautiful flower from Puerto Rico. I thought it was really done beautifully. Even the dance choreographer, when they do the salsa songs, even later on, he's a New Yorker, but Dominican as well.
Nice.
So I
Yeah,
thought that was great. We had a lot of DR during the
there
whole
is.
thing. We were represented, so
Yeah,
it was nice to see unity.
definitely. And the kids sleeping on the
Oh
chairs.
my God. That was Tiffany's whole life. I mean, it was ours too. Every party,
Yes.
we would just fall asleep and the parents would be dancing, singing, having a good time. Not even thinking that the kids are asleep either on a bed with a bunch of coats or laid out on chairs. That's
Yes.
where you were.
I laughed so hard telling my daughter this story because she just did not understand. She's like, I don't understand. Why didn't you just go home? And it's like, no, you can't just go home.
No.
Your parent wants to party and dance all night long
Yes.
at the apartment party and you fall asleep. You fall asleep somewhere, you just end up doing it.
Yeah.
Or at church, I used to fall asleep all the time and there's like a full drum set right next to me. I could sleep anywhere after that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we raised our kids, We ourselves were full of joy and celebrating all the time and having a good time. Like, life is too short to be cranky all the time. So, yeah, I mean, we had kids. What are we going to do with them? You're not leaving them with anybody. You
No.
bring them with you. All the cousins get to play, eat food, hang out, and then when they get tired, they fall asleep somewhere. By the end of the night, you go finding your kid in all the piles and you go home.
Yep, exactly. And then the other part was the 20 kids at the wedding. Like,
Yes.
I have literally 20 kids that are going to be at our wedding, and that is very culturally appropriate.
Yes.
I planned weddings for a long time where people are like, no, it's a no kid wedding, no kid wedding. It's like, who's watching your kids?
Yes.
Like that's not a thing that we ever do. All of our kids are coming because everybody that you know that you trust to watch your kid is at the
Is
wedding.
there. Yes.
So you have to bring them with you. And for us, that's just such a big family moment. Like,
Yeah.
of course, I want all the kids there. I went to 9 weddings when I was a kid. I was in nine.
Yeah.
We counted
That
them.
you were actually in the
In
wedding party.
9.
But that's how Latinos are. Like, kids are included in everything because we're all a family. We're all valued the same. You should be seen, heard, brought to everything. It's just the way that we are.
Nueva York!
Now we get into the fun part, all right?
Yes.
Now, I grew up in Queens, so this is exciting for me. Sit back. Because now, first thing he does is throw himself back. And what does that signify? I mean, you have to really trust somebody to catch you
Oh,
from
yeah.
that high up. So he trusted his Latinos to have his back, just like the rest of us should. And then he goes into the whole thing. He starts singing Nueva York, and you got New York right there.
Yep.
The outfits are different. They're all wearing definitely stylish New York. This is where that choreographer comes in that I told you with the New York version of salsa. Then you got the marqueta there. We all have the bodegas everywhere. The best part was Tonita. How much were we screaming when Tonita
Everybody
was
was
there?
screaming for
Because
her.
I saw that it was there, but then when they showed her really there, like how fun was that?
I know. Imagine the life that she's having right now
I
in her 80s. Like,
know.
when she opened this, there's no way that she could have thought that she was going to be on the Super Bowl.
No way. She's been there like 50 years already. And if you don't know her story, go look her up. She started this Puerto Rican social club when she moved here. It's now called the Caribbean Social Club. They're accepting of everyone there. We got to go check it out when we do our Queen's Day. I already told Sandra we're having a Queen's Day.
We're having a Queen's
We're
Day.
having a
Fine.
Queen's Day. We're going back there. So we'll go into Brooklyn and we'll go check her out. But her story is amazing, and she feeds everybody in the neighborhood. And people have been trying to kick her out of there, and she's like, "No, I'm not selling. We're not getting gentrified. We're keeping the Latinos here."
Yes.
So that was really cool. And all of them dancing, I mean, we were all screaming. My husband's like, "Oh my God, just get up and start dancing already." I just didn't want to block the view from everyone else.
I know. Well, this is super exciting because this is my favorite song. I feel like for this one, when he starts as 4th of July, like, of course I'm gonna love that. It's about a party on the 4th of July,
Yeah.
and I am maybe 145 days away from planning the biggest party of my life on 4th of July. So this is very exciting.
Yeah. You guys need to come. I mean, it's going to be a blast. You're all invited.
Everyone's invited.
You're all invited. We'll just
I can't
won't tell you
afford
the
this
address
now.
yet.
Yeah, no, I can't afford this now. But this was definitely the part where I thought he would bring out Cardi B and we would go into Bodega Baddie, which I really wanted to hear,
Yes.
but we didn't get that.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. Now he talks about the Grammy Award.
Yes.
I mean, there was definitely right away speculation online that the little boy that was there was Liam Ramos, which was detained by ICE, but that turned out to be false. He's just a child actor who was meant to represent Bad Bunny as a young kid. So I love this. I love that he had a child there watching him because it just goes along with what he said about believing in yourself, that this could be you too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 10 years ago, he was bagging groceries and now
Yeah.
he's performing at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I thought it was nice that it was like his mom and his dad and the little boy all being portrayed there in front of an old TV. You know, that was his life.
Yeah.
And here he is. He went from that little boy to being at the Super Bowl. So I thought that was really great.
Yeah. And then.
And then, oh my God. So then we didn't know what was coming or who was going to sing next. And when they pan out and it's Ricky Martin, this was for all the old ladies in the house, okay?
Yes.
The young people maybe didn't appreciate Ricky Martin as much as we did, but if you grew up watching Menudo, this was your moment, okay?
For real.
If you think back to Menudo and when Ricky Martin broke off, in order for him to become like a super big star, he had to cross over and he had to sing in English. And that's the only way he would make money because no one else would accept him if he stayed speaking Spanish. Back then there was, there was no Grammy Awards for Spanish singers. We had to make our own Latin Grammys in order to get a Grammy. Yeah. So this was huge when we saw Ricky Martin. He represents a lot for not only Puerto Rico, but for all Latinos in general. And I think he did an amazing job. And dressed in white, he looked beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, right before that happened, Bad Bunny said, like, how is he going to be the king of pop with reggaeton and dembow? And, you know, it speaks to what Ricky Martin had to do. He had to change himself. He had to hide his queerness because, you know, the Latino community typically isn't accepting of that. So in order for him to be himself, he had to change a lot. So for him to be able to come out and have his moment and really sing to everybody, especially about such a powerful song like this one, you know, to sing about Hawaii and how I mean, I didn't know any of those things before this song. Like before he talked about the similarities between Puerto Rico and Hawaii, I didn't really know that.
Yeah, and it's scary if you look at the statistics now, they say there's more Hawaiians living out of Hawaii than in Hawaii. They have been outnumbered in their own country. So it's scary that that could happen to Puerto Rico one day. That's what they're worried about.
Yeah.
So,
and it's such a lovely poetic song that he made to really talk about it. I don't know that we would have had these conversations without it. So really glad that he was able to do that. He's like a godfather of this type of music too. So like for him to be able to come out, and I'm big on MTV days and pop culture, and he was all over MTV. So
and how many of us grew up with like those posters out of the magazines all plastered all over our wall with Ricky Martin, Menudo? I mean, that was huge. I remember going to see that movie on Roosevelt Avenue in Flushing, like waiting online for hours. Like, it's definitely huge for all of us older women.
Yep. Older women.
older women. So
All right, so then he goes into El Apagón, which I didn't fully understand the stories of until I heard the song and I started doing research on this.
yeah,
But for me, I listen to a lot of podcasts like Entrepreneurs on Fire, and the host of that podcast, brilliant guy, but constantly talks about how he lives in Puerto Rico for the tax benefits. And we had the same exact thing with the two guys, the Pauls,
yeah,
that Jack and Logan Paul, who just called out, Bad Bunny in a controversy, but he lives in Puerto Rico and takes advantage of the tax benefits of living in Puerto Rico. So
yeah,
I didn't know that these things existed before this conversation started. So when you look at the fact that all of these millionaires are taking advantage of the country and have all of these luxuries there, and meanwhile we can't take care of our infrastructure.
hmm
That's what that whole song is about. And my daughter and I had a lovely conversation about it too, where I explained it to her. But yeah, that's what that he has a 20-minute documentary on YouTube if you want to learn more about it for the song.
yeah. And even my husband asked me, he's like, "What was up with those power poles? What were they doing?" And I had to explain to him, that power in Puerto Rico is not like here, where we could just, we take advantage and we think, oh, it's just a commodity that
Never
you don't
runs
even
out.
think about.
Yeah.
It's every day. But in Puerto Rico, the infrastructure is not the same. Dominican Republic's the same. Where the light just goes out and you deal with it, right? You find ways around it, but there it's even worse. And when we talk about those tax breaks that other people have, my husband asked, well, why don't, if people are coming in there and spending money to have like hotels and all this stuff, why are there still blackouts? Because these people are spending the money on what they want and what's going to make them money,
Their
right?
own property.
They can buy generators for these hotels and they can run their own little ecosystem right there. They are not putting money into the infrastructure of the whole country. They're only caring about themselves. And that's the biggest part of the problem. So then you're leaving the poor people to fend for themselves. They're up in the mountains. They're not out in the beach and in these resorts. No, they're up in the mountains in little casitas, just like the casita you saw in the Super Bowl and in all his videos. That's where they live with minimal power. Sometimes they don't have running water. With Hurricane Maria, some of them were 6 months, a year with no power. You just imagine what that's like living with no power.
Yeah.
So they even shut the power, right? You saw the lights go out on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's just, an explanation. And then I thought it was touching that Bad Bunny didn't just come out like, all right, he came out singing, but he also climbed the pole. He's there
Yeah.
with you, fixing the infrastructure, helping the people. He's
Yeah.
not just writing a check. No, he's stuck there with you. He's been on protest, marching shoulder to shoulder with everyone else. He truly cares about his people.
Yeah, he really is the same person, and his values, he speaks and he lives them. So
Yeah.
that's great. And this is the time where, oh, and one other thing, I loved the video of the female rigger
Yes.
that was up there. She did a great job, and she did a behind the scenes video of
Yes,
that.
that was
I
nice.
cannot stop watching every different angle, every person who was there. I want to watch every single one of those videos. So the
Yeah.
girl that was rigging up there, she made a great one, and it was an absolutely fun video to watch.
Yeah.
But this was a part where he then came out with the traditional Puerto Rican flag.
Yes, which was interesting because it also had the same color that Lady Gaga was wearing.
That's
It's
true.
that
Yeah.
same light blue, which is the original Puerto Rican flag. If you go back and look at the history, that was the original flag, and then it was made illegal. You were not
Yeah.
allowed to show that flag. And then guess what? When the US took over, they made a new flag where the blue matched the American flag.
Yeah.
So that other flag was outlawed. That was done. And I thought it was really touching that he brought out the original Puerto Rican flag
Yeah.
before we were colonized.
Yep. And everybody said that that was the flag associated with independence.
Yeah.
So for him to bring that out, that was very,
Yeah.
monumental at that
Yeah.
moment.
I thought that was great.
And my favorite part,
when he's up on those polls and he says that they all want to be Latinos,
Pero
except,
no tiene sazón.
trust me, there's plenty of sazon in this house.
Oh
So
yeah.
you just hang out with us all the time. It's okay.
And then for him to go into Cafe Corron.
Yeah, which is probably one of my favorites.
Oh
Just
yeah.
because it's the most fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah, we're come up off the mountain, come out of your balconies, let's just party. And what do Latinos live on?
Coffee and
for
rum.
sure, but rum.
Coffee and rum.
Yes, so that was awesome. And then came out, then he gets his football and he says, God bless America, which I thought was really sweet, because he's all about unity. I know before everybody kept saying he's dividing us, he's singing in Spanish, and that's really not what he's about. He's about unifying us. So then he says, God bless America, but the catchword right after is sea, which is like we are. So what is the Americas? It's not just the United States of America. It's all the countries that he listed. And everyone came out with their flags. And did you see how excited all those people were holding the flags? Everybody who
and the behind the scenes of people crying as they got to run on the field with their flags. Like those are some of my favorite videos. And as much as I was just trying to take it in as we were watching it for the first time, watching all those videos behind that and seeing how many people got so excited to see their flag and to see their country called out like that. Even people from Canada were like, "Did he say Canada?"
That was awesome. Everybody here, we had people from different cultures, so they were like screaming when it was Nicaragua, when it was Dominican Republic, of course, and when it was Puerto Rico. Like, we just had everybody just screaming for their own flags. And just the pride, I think, in Latinos is something that you don't see with every country.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to DR, those people are so proud to be Dominican. They don't want to be anything else but Dominican.
Yeah.
And the same for the other countries.
Yeah.
So I think that was great that he gave them all the spotlight. They had so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, and we're so arrogant about the United States being the best, but he was really saying like we are all together, Americans. It's not just about this one country and exactly how we're behaving right now. He really included everybody globally. And if you think about it, there's more Latinos in all of those countries than there are probably in the United States. So, for all of us to rise up and be one together, we're more powerful that way.
And even when people criticize about it in Spanish, if you think about it, there's like 150 million people in the US alone that their primary language is Spanish.
Yeah.
So all those people have been watching Super Bowl shows in English all this time, not understanding. That's okay. We all listen to the music, we party with everyone else. Then there's the other millions that speak Spanish and English. So we really have a huge number of people that speak Spanish. Listen, I've been to the opera, people sing in Italian, there's French operas. I don't complain. It's okay. I feel the music. I think it's beautiful. I get emotional. I cry. I don't know what they're talking about. It's okay. Let's be open minded to other cultures. This wasn't about dividing, it was about unifying.
Yeah. And if you can look me in the eye and tell me that you know every single thing that Kendrick Lamar said last year and you can fully understand it and all the beef and all the history of the Crip Walk that was on there and everything, you're lying. So stop pretending like this is the first year that you don't understand what's going on.
Yeah. I personally, I listen to music before I listen to lyrics. So for me, it doesn't matter what the guy's rapping about. Like, if I don't understand all the words, it's okay. I feel the music, I get the gist of it, and I just party on with everyone else.
Yeah. And for all of that, like to watch all the flags come together at the end of that scene where they're all behind him and he's still calling out names. And at the end, he says, "Together we are America." That is beautiful. That was a wonderful moment. And for him to have the words behind him that said, love is stronger than hate, that's exactly what his point was for this whole thing, this whole year that he just had of showing everybody how much he loves Puerto Rico and the history and his land and everything. But like, Puerto Ricans are everywhere. So we are everywhere and we should all be united, especially as Latinos, not even just Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, and he doesn't portray hate. You know what? It is more powerful with love. He says, instead of like hating that other person, how about we just show them how much we love each other and how much love we have for community, how much love we have for helping people and being kind. Let's focus on those things instead of hate.
Yep.
So it was amazing. And then he walked out and he finished up with what he said was kind of, he said something like, all right, this is the best, you know, debí tirar más fotos. And that's how he walked out. And that was, you know, that song is just a lesson for us to stop, take a moment, take it all in. Always take a moment to, like, you know how they say, like, smell the roses?
Yeah.
Like, slow down and
Yeah.
really take pictures and have memories with your family. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah, that song is like, it reminds me of family reunion. You know, we just had a family member that's moving, and we had all of these photos at Christmas time that we were looking through, and all the details and all the things that we forgot that we have photos of, you know, but how many things didn't we take photos of? So I'm very happy that I was a person that always posted my kids' photos every single day on Facebook, because now I have them. And I know at the time
on the chats all the time.
exactly, and now I know that at the time it was annoying, probably. But you know what? Years later, I forgot all of those memories, but they're there and they show up in my yearly memories, and I love looking at them every day. Yeah. These kids get too big too fast. All right, we gotta take photos of everything.
It goes quick. So guys, just take a minute and live in the moment. Live in the moment. Take the pictures. Show each other how much you love each other. Party as much as you want. Eat good food. I know all of you love Latinos food. Like, let's enjoy each other.
Yeah, definitely. So, what do we think is next for Bad Bunny?
I don't know, because why did he like wipe out his whole Instagram?
Wiped everything out. I haven't seen any interviews. No interviews after this monumental week that he just had. So, what is he doing?
I saw he went to Spain.
He went to Spain.
Yeah, he's in Spain. What is he doing in Spain?
I don't know, but I saw a video on social that said on holidays he likes to surprise everyone. So that there's been several holidays that he's put a video out, he's put a new song out. So tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Are we getting a new song? Are we getting a video? What are we gonna get? Because this is like a big week. You can't just leave me hanging here. What are we doing next?
I know. And then soon is Dominican Independence Day. He does talk about DR in a lot of his songs, so let's see.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna need our next Dominican star to rise up, please. We need someone to come out just like Bad Bunny did and represent our country on a worldwide stage, please, because it's not gonna be Romeo. So who is it gonna be?
I don't know. I've been loving David La Melodia. Have you guys been listening? I know he's young, but man, his music is good. That voice is amazing. I'd go see him. So let's see.
Okay, but it could also be Cardi B.
She is going on tour. And did you see that she started her tour? Everybody came out with the different flags from Latin America. I was like, wow, she's taking a page out of Bad Bunny's book. I loved it.
I love that for her. I also did see that she said that if ICE shows up to her shows, we're gonna jump their asses. That's what she said. Oh, I'm down for that.
Let's see who's doing it.
Yeah, she was like, "You're not playing that game in my show." So yeah, so maybe she'll be the next one to bring us all up.
So someone else. What do you think?
Yeah. All right, guys. That was all for our episode today. Yeah. I don't want to stop talking about Bad Bunny, so I'll probably talk about it again next week. We're going to figure out the next thing, whatever he's doing next.
Yes, for sure. But don't forget to follow us, subscribe, and we'll see you back next week.
See you then.